welcome back everyone to Pod of Thrones. I'm Jeff.
I'm Jennifer.
It's only been a week.
We're doing
It's very
great.
exciting.
We're on a roll.
Despite the fact that it's only been a week since our last episode went out, I almost feel like this is delayed still because we're recording this. We got less than 24 hours before the mid-season premiere, right, of The Walking Dead season 8. So we're excited about that. Got to find out what happened to Carl. So I guess we'll be recording 2 podcasts right in a row, and we'll see how quickly I can get these out. But we're recording this like 6 days after, I believe, we went and saw Black Panther.
Yes, indeed. We had been anticipating this for almost a year. I mean, more than that, of course. But since we saw it in Hall H, we saw the preview with all the cast.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I had been excited since then to see it.
That was not, I mean, it certainly wasn't a year ago.
September of 2017.
I think it was June.
Okay.
But you're still
September.
Over half a year for sure. So we're coming up on like 7-8 months. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. The better part of a year. We've been excited for Black Panther since you didn't see a lot at Comic-Con.
I felt like we saw a lot, but I was more amped about the cast. They were so excited.
Yeah. Yeah. The energy.
Right. The energy was great. They were so proud to be a part of something that was going to be awesome, and they knew it. Mm-hmm. And they knew it was going to be a blockbuster. It
really was it has been a bang up year so far for them. And it's funny because now that you mentioned that, you were not there the same day in the morning when I saw the Warner Brothers panel. You missed that. And we did get the whole cast of Justice League. Mm-hmm. They came out. We saw...
Was Ben Affleck?
Aquaman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, and Batfleck himself. Yeah. Ben Affleck was there. Khal Drogo, what's his name? Damn it. Jason Momoa. He did come out with a lot of energy. I mean, he really was like the Poseidon himself, just rushing out, and he had the trident, and he was like air guitaring it like a rock star. And there was a lot of exuberance from the others, except for Ben. He was okay, but you could tell that something was wrong.
What was wrong?
He's on his way out.
Was that what was wrong?
And there had been rumors about that already, and he did not really do much to dissuade those rumors. Like, he could have said, and obviously...
I'm going to be Batman forever.
Well, yeah. Well, he could have said that. Of course, I love this fucking job. I get to be Batman, and I'm going to keep being Batman, and I'm totally Batman in the next movie.
Being Batman is a hard job. Nobody gives Batman enough credit, at least that's the way he feels. He's like saving the city, and everybody's like,
is that why
mad at Batman?
Is that why he wanted out? Is that,
I don't know,
people were just mad at Batman?
Maybe I think that a lot of people didn't like him as Batman, first of all.
He took a lot of flack for when he was cast, but then it's his job as an actor and as a professional to rise above that and prove that he can be a great Batman. And I thought he was a pretty good Batman. I didn't have any problems with him.
Sorry, Ben, but
what? Christian Bale.
Okay, so over the years, Batman used to be charismatic and rich, of course. A little bit funny. I love Michael Keaton, Batman, the best. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people hate him, but he was the best.
I don't know that anyone hates Michael.
Slightly sexy, but not unobtainable. Unattainable. Sorry.
When Ben Affleck got cast as Batman, there were a lot of comparisons to the public reaction because he was also derided a very similar way. Like Michael Keaton, it was, oh, this guy's a comedian. He's a comic actor. He's Mr. Mom. You can't cast him as Batman. What the hell? And he proved everybody wrong. I think overall he was considered to be a pretty good Batman, at least for the movie he did, where Batman, went crazy and shot a gun and, did all sorts of stuff that Batman, or actually shot guns from his plane, all the things Batman doesn't do, right? And Ben Affleck took a similar kind of thing. Like, you can't put Ben Affleck, he was Daredevil once, and he's done all these other cheesy movies, and like, we know too much about him basically to be Batman. But I thought he was a fine Batman, and it seems like he's never going to be Batman again. I think those days they're officially over.
Really?
I think so. And at Comic-Con, he did sort of say like, hey, being Batman's the coolest job in the world. But like, whatever that question was about all sort of the murmurs through Hollywood, he didn't deny anything. And he definitely didn't say, and I'm going to keep being Batman. And his energy was just,
Yeah.
Gal Gadot is lovely.
I love
Ezra Miller is pretty funny, actually. Like, he seems like a really cool guy that you'd want to hang out with, a big nerd. Mm-hmm. And Jason Momoa had a lot of energy, but this was nothing compared to the Marvel folks.
Here's the big difference. This has been a year of dues. Like, everybody's getting their due. Women and all the minorities. It's been a year of it's enough.
It's not all fixed.
We've had enough. It's not fixed, but this has been a huge year for people who have been held down for a long time. Mm-hmm. And they felt that way back then. And the casting was just amazing. I was reading, I can't remember who it was, but somebody was saying, do all the cast members have to be black? And whoever, it was like one of the producers or something, he's like, yes, of course.
Well, we had a white guy. Well, okay. So if you go back a few years, there were a couple movies. One of them was maybe like Gods of Egypt or something like that. And there was really no major characters were cast as people that were of Persian descent, really of any kind. Right? There was a lot of white guys. I think Christian Bale was even included in that, right? And was it Gods? There were a couple Egypt movies. No, I didn't either. But who would want to when you saw what the casting was like? It just nothing made a whole lot of sense. It's very like Charlton Heston playing Moses kind of stuff, which back then probably made a certain amount of sense. You had a kind of a tight circle, you didn't have that big of a pool in Hollywood to draw from, but right. You have a lot of talent now from so many different backgrounds, and if you needed to, it's very easy to reach out across the oceans now, which it wasn't in the 20s and 30s and whatever. So when you still see casting like that, really, really bad whitewashing,
that something's wrong.
And there was even a quote from whoever the director was of that particular movie. I think it might have been Ridley Scott, actually, who was like, why would I cast some Muslim so-and-so from such and such that no one's ever heard of when I could cast this dude that like 5 people have heard of? Like, nothing made any sense. But there was definitely an element of, we don't need brown people in our movies. Let's cast this guy and make him look kind of brown.
That's not what people want to see.
I was checking out, we were watching The Goldbergs recently, right? That was our new thing. Mm-hmm. And there was an episode where they referenced Short Circuit. And I wanted to get that movie and show it to the kids. And I've come close. I have it like ready to go because I love Johnny Five and everything. But I cannot stop thinking about the whitewashing from that movie. Or not even whitewashing, more like brownwashing. It was brown face on fucking whatever dude played the Indian guy. I can't remember his name right now.
Brownface.
But he is not an Indian guy. And they made him look...
Are you serious?
You don't remember? Okay, now I got to look it up.
Oh, God.
Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about.
They made his skin brown. It wasn't... He wasn't...
Do you know the Indian character of which I speak?
Yeah, I remember.
Right. So that was Fisher Stevens playing... and he is from Chicago. If you look at his picture here, he's definitely a white guy. See the picture of Fisher Stevens? Yeah. They browned him up for Short Circuit and made him do...
They put brown on his skin, I guess.
Made him do a stereotypical Indian voice. Well, they must have done something because he looked kind of brown. I mean, it wasn't that far removed from like Breakfast at Tiffany's level stuff with like the ching chong kind of like Chinese, really bad. That happened in the 80s. Stuff like that's still happening even as of a couple years ago, or less maybe. But this year, in the last year, half of 2017, coming into 2018, it seems like maybe we're turning a corner. We just had an entire big budget, AAA, $200+ million movie that's set entirely in Africa with one scene in South Korea.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It was amazing.
There was one white guy.
I loved everything about it.
Yeah.
It was a great movie. And
it's breaking box office records like madness.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to think some of that, there's probably an activist kind of element to that of like, it's a movie that's starring all black people and it costs $200+ million to make. A lot's riding on it. We need to go see this movie. But also, it fucking deserves it. It was a really fun movie.
Well, I think there's a lot of reasons.
And plus, it's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Right.
That's going to draw a handful of people anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that fan base is not the type of people that are prone to racism, honestly.
I don't even know anymore.
I don't.
There was a whole thing recently with Dr. Scarlett, our multiple time guest on this show. She wrote an article about exclusion in the nerd world for women in the case of her particular article. But it seems like there are still big pockets of that throughout the nerd world where they feel like it's only for boys and possibly even only for white boys, like people that don't match what Superman looks like, whatever. Something like that, just like aren't invited to the party.
Really?
Look, I don't get it. I was never exposed to that when I was growing up with the handful of nerd friends I had, our gaming groups, when I would go to a comic book store, which wasn't a lot, but I never saw anyone being a complete dick to someone because of the color of their skin or that they were a girl or whatever.
Well, I do go to the comic book store, and our comic book store, our local that we usually go to, Comic Quest, they have a woman owner.
Yes.
So
that's got to help.
I feel very welcome there. But I have been to comic book stores where I felt out of place and felt like I didn't belong.
Okay.
But
has anyone ever said anything to you?
Of course not.
Because there are stories, and
but they're
I've read
not helpful.
I've read quite a few testimonials of people walking into a room full of like gamers or comic dorks and having someone say like, hey, it's and insert racial epithet here. And then they just kind of laugh and go back to what they're doing, and leaving this person who just walked into the room and doesn't know anybody feeling like an asshole and walking out because they're like, well, I guess this is not the place for me. I hear about these things. The internet, unfortunately, shows us that this stuff happens. It's just not something I've personally seen. I'm happy to say that my dorky friends were all right. But it's there. It's a real thing.
Well, let's get back to Black Panther.
In the world we're living in now, yeah, I mean, people are coming out to see this movie in droves. Skin color clearly is not hurting this movie. And that's awesome for Hollywood.
Yes. And the actors, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of... what did you think of... what's the guy that played the it was... the
bad guy?
Michael Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan? Sure. Well, we've seen him in a couple things.
What did you think of him as the bad guy? Was he the bad guy?
Yes.
Okay.
His name
he looks so different in his picture.
I see you looking at your phone right now, so if you're not seeing the cast list, his character's name was Eric Killmonger, according to the official cast list. So that's usually a name associated with a bad guy.
Killmonger.
That wasn't his birth name. He
guy.
wasn't from the Killmonger family out of Oakland, California.
When I'm looking at the pictures, he looks so sweet and nice.
Well, I'm sure he's a real nice guy.
With
now,
his nice smile.
Do you remember where you first saw him?
No.
He was in a movie called Chronicle.
With Riddick?
No, not the Chronicles of Riddick. Just Chronicle. It was the sort of found footage movie about a few kids that find a downed alien spaceship and get superpowers. I never saw that.
But I have seen him before.
We watched it together, you bastard.
You called me a bastard?
How dare you? How dare you forget this?
At least you didn't call me a bitch. Jeez.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
All right, whatever.
I don't know what the fuck.
Here
it is. Here's Chronicle. I do not remember seeing this movie. 2012.
We watched it like a year and a half ago, maybe. But within just the last few months, you were like, I don't know if the girls are ready for that or would like that kind of movie or whatever. You talked me out of showing it to them.
Oh,
So that implied you remembered it.
I don't.
Whatever. Okay, fine.
We saw Tom in Fantastic Four. That's where I saw him.
No, we did not see that Fantastic Four.
Oh.
That was the new Fantastic Four, starring the dude that drums really hard in Whiplash, and Michael B. Jordan as his. No, not his brother, but yeah, he was the Human Torch.
Maybe I saw him in Space Jam.
Space Jam? The original Space Jam?
I don't know. That's what it says.
Oh, whatever. This is not going well. I saw him in Creed, but I know you did not watch Creed with me because I was in the hospital at the time and you were home celebrating your daughter's birthday.
That's right. That was a horrible time.
That was a bad day.
It was the worst.
Bad weekend. And I think it was just food poisoning, but whatever it was, they did not want to let me go home. So I saw him in that, and he was great. For a Rocky movie, which seemed like it would be like we didn't need the last Rocky movie. We don't need more Sylvester Stallone playing Rocky, but this wasn't about him. It was about Apollo Creed's son, and it was a great movie. So did I think he was a good villain? Yeah. I mean, I think he did a decent job being the tough guy. My only objection to the Eric Killmonger character was writing based, not acting based. So I don't know if we should. What do you mean? I don't know if we should get into that. Yeah, just a little bit of plot, little bit of plot stuff.
Oh yeah, we might spoilers.
No, I don't mind doing spoilers, but do you want to talk any more about the casting first?
Okay, well let's talk about.
So who do we got? We got Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa.
Black Panther.
He is a pretty awesome guy. We saw him in Civil War, Captain America Civil War. That was his premiere as Black Panther. He watched his father die. He already had access to the suit because Dad, I'm sure, was retired from the Black Panther role. But then some names that we definitely know. Wakabi, Daniel Kaluuya. You recognize him because I'm sure you remember seeing this movie, Get Out. Right. You can't forget his eyes more than anything.
Yeah.
I was like, is that the guy from Get Out? And I wasn't totally sure until we got a really good shot where you saw his eyes, and they seem very distinctive to me. Definitely recognize him, and he was great. But the two really big names for me were Lupita Nyong'o, who you're looking at me. So that was Nakia.
Tell me.
That was Nakia, the spy / girlfriend. But she was Maz Kanata in the Star Wars movies, where you didn't exactly see her face, but that's where I got to know the name because, it's an interesting character, of course.
Okay.
So we had her, and then Denai Guerrera.
Okoye,
right?
Is that how you pronounced it? Okoye.
And she is...
Oh, she's Michonne.
Right.
Of course.
Now, you told me when we were on our way home from the movies, you did not recognize her.
I didn't. She had makeup on.
Makeup?
She had makeup.
That's true. I didn't even think about the makeup side of things. And she was bald.
And she was... I mean, her voice, is so different, and
true.
Everything about her was different. But yeah, I recognized her, but I didn't. I was like, she looks familiar, huh?
I knew she was in the movie. I feel like the first couple times I saw Okoye on the screen, I had to think like, I'm pretty sure that's Michonne, but she doesn't have hair, so it's kind of hard to tell because Michonne's hair is distinctive.
Right. I got a little confused between her and Ayo. Florence Kasumba.
Well, you mean the many bald women in the movie?
Yes. Yeah. They're all bald.
But when we saw Denai later on in the dress in Korea with the wig on, even though it wasn't like a dreadlock Michonne wig, it still seemed like that really drove it home. Like, yeah, that's definitely the same actress.
Right.
Almost unrecognizable, but definitely the same actress. That was great. And then we did have the one white guy Let's not forget about him.
Right, Andy Serkis.
Oh, sorry, 2 white guys.
Martin
Freeman
too,
and
yeah.
Andy Serkis. So there were those 2 coming in from, we haven't seen Andy Serkis as Claw, Ulysses Claw. We haven't seen him since Avengers Age of Ultron, I think. He got his arm ripped off by Ultron. And in this movie, he had a fake arm.
He's kind of a strange guy.
But he's been keeping busy. Wait, Claw or
Andy
Serkis?
Serkis.
Well, strange, but amazing.
Okay.
He was Snoke, Supreme Leader Snoke in the new Star Wars movies. Yeah,
I had no idea.
Well, now you know.
Wow.
So that's what he's been up to in between movies.
Huh.
But I like seeing his face. I like actually seeing him on screen. He's become so famous for doing, voices and motion capture. He did the main monkey in Planet of the Apes, of course, Gollum. He recently did Snoke. But seeing him on film is a nice change.
And we didn't get to see him for long, though. He was he didn't get much.
But his
time.
scenes were very, very well done, very entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
He's quite a guy. And Martin Freeman, not necessarily entertaining, but it's nice to have that connection back to the groups of people that interact with the Avengers via Martin Freeman's character, who is with the CIA or FBI. I don't remember now.
I think it was the CIA.
Everett K. Ross is
right.
his character's name.
Right.
So Agent Ross.
And Forrest Whitaker. Angela Bassett.
Forrest Whitaker, also recently in Star Wars. Angela Bassett, who we've seen plenty of on American Horror Story over the last number of years.
She sure is.
She has played some fascinating characters. Yeah. Intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
But also
she's a strong woman.
But also awesome and hot and just beautiful. Everything. Yeah, she's got a lot going on there.
Yeah, I agree.
You can't not like her.
Mm-hmm.
What an all-star cast.
Right. We didn't mention Winston Duke or Sterling Brown, which I think we should. I don't know who Winston Duke played. It doesn't have his name there.
He was M'Baku.
Oh, was he the brother?
M'Baku was the hulking guy that was leading the tribe out in the mountains.
Oh, the mountain guy.
Yes.
Why don't they have his name there? That sucks.
Well, I don't think he's done a whole lot just yet, but looking at his IMDb page, and this is kind of exciting now that I'm seeing this, he is listed as a cast member for Avengers Infinity War.
Nice.
So that's kind of cool.
Congratulations, Winston.
And then Sterling K. Brown as Njobu. I feel like I know that name, but I actually... American Crime Story. Okay, so that was a show that you and I didn't watch, but I think that's why he is a well-known name right now. So American Crime Story was headed up by produced by the same people that make American Horror Story, person or people, but it was about the O.J. trial. It was a reenactment of the O.J. Simpson stuff. And Sterling K. Brown played Christopher Darden, who was one of the...
lawyers?
The prosecuting attorneys. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those were the days.
Were they?
I don't know.
Were those good days or bad days?
Those were the days when things were much simpler, I guess.
Were they simpler? Because OJ got off for that crime.
I know, but my gosh, it wasn't this crazy world that it is today.
Now, I guess I could agree. It was a simpler time in that the hugest headline in the universe was one guy stabbing 2 people to death.
Right.
That does seem much simpler. We're like 1.5 weeks from the Florida school shooting, and that just one of dozens.
Look what you did, OJ.
Is this OJ's fault?
All your fault.
He started the mass killings by murdering 2 people.
Fucker.
Allegedly murdering 2 people.
All right, so
we know he got off for that.
Off of OJ. He already has too much airtime.
Yeah, we didn't talk about him. So...
Also have Letitia Wright, because she was also a main character.
What? Oh, who are we talking about?
The sister, Shuri.
Oh my God, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the dad, but he didn't appear in this one.
Honest to God, Letitia Wright is 24, and I still find that hard to believe.
Why?
When she first showed up on screen, maybe it was just the outfit she was wearing, but I thought she was like 15. She just seemed so...
small? Petite?
Maybe petite, or maybe it was just her attitude, or she seemed just really innocent, but I thought she was even younger than that, but still very, very young. She was, I don't know if they had cast the part yet, but there was supposed to be a character in Avengers 2 when it was either part of Thor's visions or it was some other point in the movie or something, but there was heavy hints and even some footage shown that people thought that Black Panther's sister was going to make an appearance very, very, very briefly in Avengers 2, Age of Ultron. But that didn't happen. It got cut out. So I don't know if she was any part of that. I'm guessing not, because at the point you cut that out, you can cast anyone you want.
Yeah, that's true.
But that was the first time that we were starting to get any kind of sense that Black Panther was really coming. But then that went away. But she was hilarious. She was just a great character.
I liked her, yeah. She was a good comic relief, and it was awesome to see her being so smart.
Yeah.
She was the intelligence behind everything.
You really had it all in the Wakandan society, right? They are economically stable and everyone's fed, and they seem to be relatively equal. You didn't see any women that were thinking about challenging for the throne, but still the best guards for the throne it was a force of women. You have the top scientist in the nation is a 24-year-old girl. So you have that.
What I didn't understand, but I guess they kind of explained it, but surrounding their area where, what was the other? Nakia, where Nakia was saving the women.
We don't exactly know what she was doing, right? Because she was actually mad that Black Panther came and saved those girls because she was in the middle of a mission. So we don't know where the mission was taking her. But
that's what I wanted to hear more about. What the hell was going on?
Well, maybe she was letting these women be captured in the moment so that she could get closer to the leader of this organization.
That's what I
something
think,
like that. Must have been, right?
If these people are so powerful and technologically advanced, why is their immediate surrounding area in such peril?
Because that was the arc of the movie, though, is that Wakanda's been non-interventionist.
They know it's just like right next door, a mile away,
and so easy, right?
And so easy for them to help
one these suit of armor, and you can take all those guys out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Selfish.
Well, I don't disagree. I would have been in favor of that too, but they were trying to keep themselves hidden, so they didn't want many people to know that kind of power was out there. If you recall, a big part of the plot hung on this notion that Ulysses Klaue 30 years ago had stolen pretty much all of the country's vibranium.
Right, which was fraction.
Couldn't be further from the truth. It was like a grain of sand in the larger pool of what they have for vibranium. Mm-hmm. But that was all the illusion, which they've been keeping up for generations and generations. And there does come a point when, even when there's other bad things happening in the world, if you're brought up that this is just how we do things, then that's just how you do things.
It's like America.
It's like a lot of stuff. I mean, that's like tradition. Their tradition was to not interfere much, if at all, with the outside world.
Very much like everybody, really. I mean, we've got homeless people in our city. I'm not inviting them into my house.
Okay. That's pretty much the same thing. Well, but if you look around Facebook at the memes people pass around, which are generally bullshit because people don't think stuff through all the way, but you see a lot of stuff, let's say about homeless people, homeless vets, and so on, where you'll see comments like, well, why should we be letting refugees into our country when there's still homeless veterans on the street? Now, my answer would be because America has the resources to handle both of those problems. And we haven't been handling the one about homeless vets, and that sucks. And now we're trying to stop the handling, or some people are trying to stop the handling of helping refugees that are trying to get away from people that we're telling everybody that will listen are the worst people on earth, right? Like ISIS.
But you got to stay there.
But you can't come here. Oh, no. Yeah. We want to blow those people up, and I'm sorry, you're just going to have to be blown up with them. It's nothing personal. We just don't have room for you. Never mind, like all of Kansas, right? So Wakanda, on the other hand, if I had to take a guess, probably doesn't have anyone that's homeless. So they have not been helping the outside world. They have not been taking in refugees, but at least they've gotten the interior right. It's almost utopian, the way it's portrayed. They take care of their people, and that's wonderful.
That is wonderful.
And they won't accept
Except
aid.
for the mountain people who live in caves.
Well, they chose to go there, though.
I guess.
According to the history lesson we got at the very beginning of the movie. I know we're definitely entering into spoiler territory now, and you know what? If you haven't seen this movie yet, fucking pause this, go to your theater right now, give them your $10 or whatever it is, and then come back, because you should see that movie.
Yes.
Yeah. So at the beginning of the movie, we learned that one tribe was like, "No, I don't believe in all this shit with the meteors and the blah." So they went off and did their own thing.
Now, vibranium. It seems to me that it could be dangerous to your health because it's all glowy.
It's just dangerous. Well, is it radioactive? It wouldn't seem so.
Where is it? What is it? Where did it come from?
It came from space. We just learned that.
Did we?
Yeah.
In the movie.
The meteor landed on Wakanda, what would become Wakanda.
It seems
and
like it
changed
should be
the soil
dangerous.
in their plants.
That's right. And they got those weird flowers.
But it also seems to make their soil ridiculously fertile because they never go hungry.
I don't understand. They threw that. They should all be like.
It is a comic
glowing.
book, babe. It is still a comic book.
All right. It's not real life.
Yeah. I mean, when that meteor fell, yeah, probably everybody that was anywhere even close to that died. But hey, then more people come in later because you go back to a time when there were a lot of nomads running around, nomadic tribes. Eventually they would find that place with the cool glowing purple flowers and a whole lot of dead people, and then they can just move in.
All right, I can buy that, I guess. I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. These stories.
Now they did... I have no idea about the comic book, I was going to say real, but there is no real. The comic book origins of Black Panther, so I don't know if the purple flowers are a thing in the comic book. But they did kind of break that. There's no more purple flowers.
Right. Well, I don't know. I mean, they grew once. Why wouldn't they grow again?
Perhaps they will grow out of the soil that was burned.
That was only one tiny spot. Is that really the only spot those flowers grow?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Hopefully
I think
not.
they're somewhere else.
Hopefully not. So they did that.
That seems damaging too. Like when you drink that flower stuff, you get all, and then they have to deflower you.
Okay, so we saw Black Panther get deflowered, as you so wisely put it, twice in the movie. That looked like it would be really hard on your body.
It looked painful, right?
It looked like you probably lost 10 years off your lifespan.
Yeah.
Just drinking that shit. And then you're mortal again. It's very like Superman 2 red kryptonite chamber thing or whatever that was, right? Like you just suck all the Superman's powers away and now he's not super anymore and he has to prove that he can fight like anybody else.
He can't.
Like and, well, Superman couldn't. He
No.
got his ass kicked by a drunk trucker. But at least T'Challa had plenty of training throughout his life because he lives in utopia and he's royalty. So what else does he have to do? He can become intelligent, learn many languages. He can learn how to run a country and he can learn how to fight.
Okay.
He's got all sorts of time because that place is awesome.
I guess.
I want to live there.
I would love to live there too, yes.
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't, I mean...
They're not taking in refugees and...
Pretty much can do whatever you want.
There's a lot of people that would gladly free the regime we're stuck under just as much as anywhere else. But no, we can't go there. I'm sorry.
Darn. Can't go to Wakanda.
They can't go to Wakanda. But the movie arc was about their non-interventionist policy and how they're changing that now. So it ended well, right?
Yes.
I mean, you were criticizing that they weren't helping
No, it
Africa
ended well.
more,
I'm thinking about the implications of all of that. What's going to happen now that the world knows there's a shit ton of vibranium and it's super powerful?
Well, good luck trying to go in there and get it because these guys have all the best weepons and will kick your ass.
Somebody's going to try.
Of course somebody's going to try. maybe there will be a plot of that in Infinity War. Maybe
Batman will probably want to buy it all.
Batman.
Sorry.
He does. Batman lives in Gotham City, and that city doesn't even exist. That's why he's all mad, because he wants vibranium.
Yeah, because he knows he isn't the shit anymore.
I didn't even know vibranium was a thing until these movies started, because I had always thought it was adamantium. That's what's on Wolverine's skeleton. Adamantium, the super hard, pretty much indestructible metal. But it turns out there's something even better than adamantium, and that's vibranium.
Well, I've got titanium in my skeleton.
Yes, you do. That is not quite as strong as adamantium, though.
But still, I'm like a superhero.
Pretty much. But I've thought that for a long time.
Aww. You're so sweet. You made me get all teary-eyed.
You have great powers, but...
What are those powers?
I don't know if we should talk about those here.
Okay. We'll talk about those
later. You
later.
certainly have found a way to, you just like twitch your fingers and you exercise this control over me, and I'm just, it's like hypnosis maybe, or something like that.
It's my titanium.
Your titanium proves that you are hero worthy. Yep.
Oh. You really did make me cry.
Oh, babe.
I'm very sensitive.
We've been watching too many tear-jerking things recently.
Oh.
Every episode of The Goldbergs, you're like a faucet.
Every time.
But it's a great show. Okay, so the Black Panther plot overall. We've got... What do we got? We got the Killmonger stuff, right?
Killmonger.
I mean, that is what it all comes down to in the end. So Eric Killmonger wants the throne. He is an orphaned Wakandan who was left out on his own. And when he figured all that out, he just wanted revenge.
Yeah, I guess I would too. I'd be pretty pissed off. Somebody left me alone in a country where I wasn't even born in.
Well, he was born there.
Actually, they did make sure he was taken care of. Right?
Did they?
I thought they said something about that. I hope they did.
I thought they just left him behind. Like, he just went into the military and he took care of himself as he was growing up and became an amazing killer.
It's so sad.
He probably had some, extra super cool Wakandan reflexes and DNA, kind of going on in him, making him superior to ordinary men.
Well, did they get superior DNA after the meteor?
Maybe that was part of the radiation from the meteor that you're sure is there.
All right.
Maybe all that vibranium is actually, has altered their DNA, and that's why they're so strong and awesome and fast and smart.
Vibranium.
Even before they drink the purple flower stuff. Maybe.
Yeah.
But so there was his plot. It's a revenge plot, and that was the main crux. But there was a little bit of other stuff on the side. We had a sort of a love story, T'Challa and Nakia.
A little bit of a love story, yes.
Yeah. There wasn't a whole lot to it, but it made for some funny moments, and it made for a sweet moment at the end of the movie.
I liked the twist where she was hell-bent on saving the world and didn't want to come back and be the queen, basically.
Right.
Because she wanted to do good. I like that.
We don't know what the queen does exactly, but she probably doesn't get to go get herself kidnapped to human trafficking organizations and then kick a bunch of ass. Probably more of
she's going to have to delegate now.
First lady kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's going to stay.
It would be like if Nancy Reagan raided a crack den or something back in the 1980s.
I bet she did that.
Oh, yeah. She had the vest on.
I feel like she did go and tour the, I don't know, Lower East Side or something. I don't know.
Probably once. She went there once just to see it, and then she ran back to the privilege.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, she didn't want that. I thought that was nice. We have the coming of age stuff. T'Challa finding his own way, having to sort of reconcile with his feelings about his father. That was touching at times, but also it was sort of heartwarming to see him find his strength and realize he doesn't need his dad. And also, dads can be fuck-ups too. Dad fucked up.
Yeah.
Dad fucked up
He fucked up.
It was the whole Killmonger situation.
We all fuck up.
And then the small ties into the larger Marvel Cinematic Universe, mostly through, the CIA agent. If you hear snoring, that is not us. It's Sophie, the Dog of Thrones. She's very comfortable.
Snoring away.
Oh boy, is she ever. What was that? Agent Ross. So he was the tie-in. We didn't really see anybody else, right?
No.
A lot of these movies, we get someone just showing up for like 5 minutes and passing through, but not here. No crossovers at all. This was just Black Panther. All right. So, what did you think of the story?
The whole story.
The goods, the bads. We have the theft of the vibranium leading to a plot to sell it and then capture
Not having read any of the comics or heard anything about Black Panther before the last couple years, I would say. Mm-hmm. The story, I didn't like the Claw so much, only because it just wasn't enough background for me to...
Ulysses Claw?
Mm-hmm, I guess. Was that his first name, Ulysses?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're talking about Andy Serkis?
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't like his role?
Well, I just didn't like the storyline there. Okay. Like, it just wasn't enough. There wasn't enough meat on it for me.
Okay.
But everything else, I loved. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was a great story, and, brought you up and made you mad and made you happy, and it was good. Yeah. I liked where they came, like the mountain people helped in the end. Mountain people, I don't know what their tribe was called.
I did not memorize all the tribe names. I'm not going to try to look that up right now. But yeah, that was cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was good. Mm-hmm. Great story. What'd you think?
Well, I loved seeing Claw again just because he's fun, because Andy Serkis. I didn't have a problem with sort of the basic... as the movie came together at the end, some of it made sense. You have Killmonger trying to find his roots.
I got no roots.
I had a feeling that was going to happen. You have Killmonger trying to find his roots and figure it all out, and he doesn't. He has like a lot of the pieces of the puzzle, but he's not quite all there. And so getting hooked up with Claw... So his dad was associated with Claw 30 years ago. So Eric Killmonger, whatever, he then also seeks out Claw to try to say like, hey, I can help you get more vibranium, yada, yada, yada. Let's kick some ass and do some shit. And he never mentions that he's Wakandan. So however they get hooked up, it's all this secret plot on Eric's part. I think that's all pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Like, he's trying to figure it all out. But the one thing that really bugged me was you have this whole thing with Claw trying to sell the vibranium, and then he's planning on giving Killmonger half the money or a lot of the money, whatever it is. And that can all make sense, except that all Eric wants to do is go to Wakanda.
Right.
So we get to a point where Claw gets captured, and Eric frees him just to kill him and take him to Wakanda. And that's the part where I don't quite get what happened, because you already had your association with Claw. You've met him. You've hung out with him. You've done capers with him. Why did you wait till he almost slipped away from you completely to kill him? Why not kill him or capture him or take him to Wakanda as soon as possible?
Why did he have to take him to Wakanda?
To get entrance, to be like, hey, I'm one of you guys and I can prove it, and here's this guy that hurt our society. Like, he was very nationalistic. He was very pro-Wakanda, except that he hated the people leading Wakanda because they left him in Oakland when he was a boy and killed his dad.
I don't know what his... Yeah.
So he was kind of conflicted there maybe, but he knew, I guess, from his dad's writings... He knew from his dad's writings that Wakanda had a lot more to it than just being another country in Africa, right? He knew that there was something. There was the technology. There was the vibranium. So he wanted all that more for his own good than maybe the Wakandan peoples. But then when he took power, he wasn't just going to be like, all right, all you fuckers can take turns rubbing my feet for the next 30 years. I'm king now. I retire. Like, it wasn't that. It was, we're going to show everybody what Wakanda's made of. So it was nationalistic more than it was selfish. Mm-hmm. Right?
I see that.
And very anti-colonialist. Colonialist? Was it something like that? Colonist, maybe, but it was colonials, I think, which was the euphemism for European white folks. But
right. Yes.
They were going to kill all the
colonizers.
They were going to take down all the European white folks they could.
That was interesting.
Yeah. That might have got more difficult at a certain point when the Avengers get involved because Wakanda's going crazy on the earth. But luckily it didn't come to that.
It's a crazy time.
Yeah. But that was his plot. I just didn't understand why we had to take it in such a roundabout kind of fashion. Like, maybe they could have worked Claw, and they could have done it much simpler. Like, have Eric do the museum caper on his own because he's totally capable, and then he knows Claw but hasn't met Claw. And they're working to that point when they're going to do the trade-off of the vibranium or the money or something else later on down the line. And that's when he's like, I finally found you, fucker. And he shoots him and he takes him to Wakanda because that's what he's been building up to for his whole life. If you did that, that's all it would take, I think, to make the plot make a lot more sense in that regard. But I just didn't understand them working together for as long as they did if it was just going to end in, you're dead now. And I'm going to miss him.
Maybe it took him that long to trust him.
Trust him enough to kill him?
No, the Claw to trust Eric enough to take him.
You keep calling him the Claw.
Well, that's his name.
Well, this is his last name. It's K-L-A-H, Claw.
No, it
Ulysses
says the Claw right here.
What?
Yes.
No, it does not. What are you talking about? What you talking about?
Oh, no, it's K-L-A-W. Claw. That's what they have his name as under the cast.
As K-L-A-W?
Yeah.
I thought it was K-L-A-H.
No.
Well, fuck me.
Okay.
Huh. I will have to rethink all that. I guess I had it wrong.
Wow.
I didn't realize he was the Claw. Now you're making me question everything.
It's my job, babe.
Are you sure about this? I'm going to look it up.
$426 million.
Oh, well, I got the name wrong anyway, but according to IMDb, it's Ulysses Claw, and it's K-L-A-U-E. Claw.
Well, what am I looking at?
I have no idea.
I'm looking at...
Whatever. It's okay. We get it. I just thought it was funny that you were saying the Claw.
I guess this is Google's page? I don't know what this is.
Well, when you say the Claw, I just go to Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget, so that's where my head's been every time you've said that.
Well, you're wrong.
You were saying. I'm sorry.
I don't even know anymore.
All right, fine.
What $426.6 million is they made on opening weekend?
That's a fuck ton of money. Justice League did not do that kind of numbers. Nope. Thor didn't do that kind of numbers either, and the last Thor movie was awesome.
Thor was awesome too. Did we talk about that?
Probably not. I think that was sort of in the middle of our hiatus-y time, or maybe we did. Maybe we did. I don't know.
I think probably my favorite movie of the year. Well, yeah.
Of 2017?
Mm-hmm.
Your favorite movie completely? Not like Get Out or something?
Yeah.
Wow. I haven't given that a lot of thought in terms of my favorite overall movie from 2017, because you got some good ones there, including the latest Star Wars movie, which I don't think we have time to talk about right now, but I also think I want to watch it again because it's been so long since we've seen it that I think I do need a refresher, but I loved most of it.
Okay, so I just wanted to look this up real quick.
Okay,
so
you got it.
$95 million.
What, Justice League?
Yeah.
In their opening weekend? A weekend?
Ooh,
Ooh,
let me just double check. It says they took in less than 95 million domestic and 185 million international.
That is bad, because I'm pretty sure that one cost like $250 or more, maybe, because they did wind up doing a lot of reshoots.
It says global opening of 280 million, but international, wouldn't that be Global?
Yeah.
Why would they say two different things then?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Well, it's either 95, 185, or $280 million what Justice League brought in.
Well, no matter how you slice that, Black Panther still very nearly doubled it. Or a lot more than doubled it, depending on which numbers mean which. But that is... God damn it, that's so impressive. I mean, you're talking about Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, these iconic characters. Warner Brothers has done such a terrible job fostering this universe of theirs that no one cares. And Black Panther, a hero that probably most people haven't heard of, assuming most of us don't read comics regularly. You know,
some good marketing they must have had.
Some good marketing they had. Do they even need it, though? Do they even need marketing? I was so totally coming to this movie. Just show me like one commercial. Like the previews were great, but I didn't need a whole lot. Show me one billboard with a cool looking set of art on it with the suit and the eyes and just the
Black
claws.
Panther,
meow, meow. Yeah.
Think?
I didn't need to see a preview to want to go see this. Justice League. Maybe. And I saw the previews and they were and I still wanted to see it. And the movie was okay, but not great. This movie was great.
It was great.
Really enjoyed it. With the exception of that one plot hole that's bugging me with why did he do this then and not the other thing. It was a fantastic arc. You got sort of an origin story, but not really an origin story, more of a personal growth story from a character that you don't really know, but you get it. With the 1 minute cartoon they have at the beginning of the movie, you get it. Mm-hmm. That's all you needed. I thought it was great.
I'm glad you liked it.
I really did. Really, really did. We should do a Star Wars episode soon.
That's so old.
Yeah. When we have
so last month.
But still, it's fun to talk about.
I don't know. How long ago was that?
December.
We should watch it again because I don't even remember. Somebody asked me the other day if I saw it, and I had to think, did I see it? I don't remember it.
Oh, well, much like Chronicle, starring Michael B. Jordan.
I don't remember that. I
mean,
mean,
fucking kids. There were kids flying around Seattle. You were not asleep. One of them inevitably turns evil. I think one of them dies. I don't remember which one.
You must have been watching this with your other girlfriend because it was not me.
Okay, so I think we should stop recording now so that I can show you at least a few minutes of Chronicle before bed.
Okay.
And prove to you that you're just not paying attention, lady.
All right.
Okay. I think we should go out on something funny that you showed me right before we started recording.
What was that?
You already forgot. It's only been an hour.
What is it?
It was video that I think you saw on Twitter.
Oh, it's so adorable. You have to watch this.
So this is a Walking Dead thing and a spoiler thing, but kind of awesome. So what's his name? Andrew Lincoln. So it's Andrew Lincoln. I just had to think of his name. So it's Andrew Lincoln. He plays Rick Grimes on The Walking Dead. And big spoilers here for Walking Dead stuff, but here in season 8 at the mid-season finale, we found out that
Carl gonna die.
Carl.
So if you guys don't know, he's British.
Right. That is one of the biggest reveals about Andrew Lincoln. If you've never seen him on an interview, if you've never seen him in, I don't know what else he's done besides Walking Dead, but if you don't know him from anything besides playing Rick Grimes, hearing him talk is kind of fucked up.
Yeah, because you're like, what? He's, British people sound somewhat intelligent, even if they're stupid. So
John Oliver would beg to differ because
I know
he's had that said about him before.
I know.
But okay, go on.
So it's just not that Rick Grimes is stupid. I don't know. I should just shut up.
Anyway, the British thing is surprising. But now on top of that, he's British. It's Rick Grimes, British, playing piano.
Now he's hot because he's British instead of...
Oh, I'm sorry. What? What just happened?
I don't know.
I blacked out for a second.
Yeah, so he's playing piano. It's time for bed.
Yeah, it is. But here we go. We'll play ourselves out with his awesome little tribute to Carl that he posted on Twitter. Carl. I'm going to have to talk about Carl sometime, because every time we say Carl, there's something completely unrelated to any of this shit that pops in my head. So let's talk about that maybe after our next recording.
Okay.
Or maybe in whatever episode Carl finally dies. I'll do a special tribute for him.
It's going to be awful.
Yeah.
I'm going to cry.
Oh, come on.
I don't even
You
like
never liked
Carl.
him to begin with.
I don't even like Carl, and I'm going to cry.
All right. Well, anyway, so here we go. We'll be back really soon, because we're recording on a Saturday, and we're going to be recording tomorrow on a Sunday as well. So we got a lot coming up. I just have to fucking post this shit. Wish me luck.
Good luck, babe.
Thanks, babe. All right. Bye, everybody. Enjoy Andrew Lincoln singing.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that is.
Good night, y'all.
Hit it, babe.
Chandler, ooh la la. Half of my heart is in Chandler, ooh la la. He came from East or West Atlanta, ooh la la. You know I love you so much, Chandler, ooh la la. God, I hate those frickin' zombies. They keep eating all of my friends and family. But I was scared to see you soon, 'cause you're coming to London soon. Chandler, ooh la la. Half of my heart died with Chandler, ooh la la. He comes from East or West Atlanta, I don't know. But he's southern, that I do know. You know I can't begin to say how much I miss you.